Well, I think, it's we travel the next 3 weeks on the road, and we got a lot of mileage that we're going to put up. This one starts it. Of course, it's our first conference game in quite a few, I guess, long time. So I think that's exciting, for New Mexico State, our kids, our coaches, etc. I think we're looking forward to going there. It's a unique place. It's a beautiful place, and they've got a good football team. And coach is, proven from Coastal Carolina and does a great job, and he'll do the same there. So again, like I said, here we go down the row of good teams, and you got to play every week from here on out.
Both schools were independent schools last year, but I mean, you've been around long. Like, it's a difference between independent programs, right? Between New Mexico State and Liberty. I mean, it's joining the league at the same time is pretty cool. But it's just like, what do you know about Liberty's program from the outside all these years?
Well, they've had for all the years that they played. I mean, they've been good, and financially, they're ahead of a lot of people, and probably everybody in the league. Their facilities are unbelievable. Good school academically. It's really a great place to go play, and we'll play in front of I'm sure a packed house. I think they did last week, so they're excited about their team, what they're doing, and they got a different look to them, and but they look a lot like Coastal Carolina did.
Obviously, this was the game, going on the road there last year that really helped you guys get to a bowl game. I mean, looking back on that and just everything that had transpired after, just how important was that game for you guys? And then, going back there, what do you think the feeling is going to be like for this team, which obviously has a lot of guys that played in that game last year?
Well, the game last year, was, I think probably in Mexico was a turning point in there, and a couple other things, but certainly Liberty got us over the hump. But that was last year. I mean, that's long gone, and I'm sure they remember it, and they're going to be ready to play. But they're always going to be ready to play. So it's our first conference game, and it'll be interesting how we handle it.
You talked about, I think when you got hired, that if NMSU wasn't going to a conference, then maybe you wouldn't have taken the job. What do you think going into conference play now against Liberty? Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, I think it wasn't about me, it's about the kids. I mean, when you're independent, it's hard to get a schedule, number one. Number two, you can't be an all-conference player, you can't win a conference, and it's darn hard to get in the bowl game. So all those. You get in the conference, you got a chance to win the conference, you got a chance to have all-conference players, you got a chance to be in the playoffs, you got a lot of chances to do a lot of things. So, I think it's a lot easier to recruit to a team that's going to be in a conference than it is an independent, unless you're Notre Dame or something like that.
I'm sure you've had a chance to look at the film from their first game. 5 interceptions defensively for them. Is that a product of their defense playing well, or is it more Bowling Green mistakes?
Well, we've been watching a long time, so long before now, and they're going to come out from an offensive standpoint, and they're going to run the triple option and the hard dive, what I call the hard dive. They're going to run G lead. They get the ball on the edge with the option, with lead option. A lot of play action pass, some sprint out, a lot of things they did where they were at before. They got a running quarterback. He was the second guy, I think, that came in against us. Very productive in executing the offense the first week. And then, Bowling Green had 5 turnovers, and it was hard to overcome 5 turnovers. They were in the game the whole way until the very end. But you turn over the ball 5 times, you're not going to win. But Bowling Green did some good things too. It was a good football game, and I think a great opener for Coastal Carolina to kind of figure out where they're at. And you always improve from week 1 to week 2 the most, and so we're going to get their best. There's no question about that.
Other than the youth that you've talked about in the secondary, how would you evaluate that group through the first 2 games?
Too early to evaluate. I think we'll know about game 4 or 5 where we're at. This is a new team. It's similar to what we really inherited. We've turned over the roster quite a bit, and so it's a different team than it was a year ago. But it took us 5-6 games to get going, and hopefully we can do this a little bit earlier than last year. But our guys that we brought in, and plus the guys that are here, they've got to learn fast, pick up things, and we're seeing some different offenses in this league, so that will make a difference too. But as they gain experience, they'll continue to get better.
You mentioned for them, the biggest growth is from game 1 to game 2. For you guys, what was that area of growth from game 1 to game 2?
We executed a lot better offensively. I think we punted 1 time in the game, and then defensively we still have some struggles that we need to clean up. And offensively, there's we showed that we got some playmakers, and should have probably done that more the first ball game. But there's certain players that need touches for us to be successful. And then on the defensive side, we're just playing some young people right now that made some mistakes, and they'll be better this week. The more they play, the better we'll get.
I'm trying to think, Coach. I don't remember a triple option offense last year. Did you? I know you played them in your career, but did you?
No, I've run them for years, but not like they do it. No.
Okay.
No, not for a long time. We ran it at Saginaw Valley State. Quite a bit. It's a little bit like Air Force, but not like Air Force. It's unique what they do.
What's the key principles defensively on Saturday?
Better have somebody on the dive, you better have somebody on the quarterback, you better have somebody on the pitch, and they can also run power football with you. But you make a mistake and it's 6 points. That's what option football does. It's no different than us running the option here. We've had people not be able to stop it because they made a mistake, and we've scored. That's been pretty productive for us. So we're similar in some ways offensively, but it's the preparation that I'm hoping that all the option stuff we ran through the camp and through here is going to help us.
I was going to kind of follow up on that. You don't see this kind of offense very often. How difficult is it to prepare for just because of that?
Well, I think, getting ready for it for 3 days is hard for anybody. That's why they do it. But I think, we make it hard on offense to get ready for us because we can throw and then go getting 3 backs, 2 backs, 1 back. And, so I think it's similar to what we do. So hopefully it will help our defense out because we run a lot of option out of 3 backs and different things.
What did you see from them defensively? Did they pressure the quarterback or?
They played just like they did last year. They'll get pressure. They can pressure the quarterback, but they also, they got different calls where when they think you're in a run situation, they stay more in their gaps and read what you're doing and pull with the pullers. But when it's a pass rush situation, 3rd and 10, then they've got some calls where they're going to really come get you. And then number 0 is an unbelievable player for them. He lines up at linebacker, he lines up at free safety, he lines up at nickel. He's their best player in my opinion. He can do everything. So he's a problem.
Do you have your 5 guys up front on your offensive line, or are you still kind of rotating some guys in and out?
Well, as hot as it has been and so forth, we've had to do that. So I don't know where we'll be at Liberty, but we'll probably play 7, 8 kids.
Injury-wise, anybody out of the last game?
Is right now Ron, our tight end, is questionable. We'll know tomorrow whether he can go or not. He'd be the one.
Who do you have starting at strong safety for the first half since Early has to sit out?
You know, right now we're, you know, JJ Burrell will probably play in that position, which, you know, he's played,
Yeah.
done good things before and so forth. And we moved McLean to nickel,
Okay.
to help with our young freshmen.